What's going on, guys? I have a Yubel deck profile for y'all today. I went 2-0-1 at locals yesterday, so undefeated. Had a draw. This deck is sort of a slower deck. It's meant to slow your opponent down. So in this time rule format we're in, you know, you could go to time a lot. But what was cool is I did get to use this OTK line, which is really cool, and they were not expecting that. But let's get back to the deck profile. Playing 2 Yubel, original Yubel, just a great card, still a very powerful card today. Would I play 2 going forward? Probably not. When the new stuff comes out, definitely not. And then we're going to have 3 Spirit of Yubel. This card's freaking awesome. Just really good card. If they're not expecting it in your hand and they don't play around it, like they pretty much just lose their battle phase. Like they can't do anything to deal with it in the battle phase. They can go Princess to pop it. That's fine. Okay, we'll just bring out another Yubel. We still get the trigger, all that. 3 Samsara Lotus. This is your quote-unquote 1-card starter of the deck. And it's just really good. It's a monster negate also. Technically, it actually changes their effect to destroy 1 Yubel on the field. So it does work against Tempai, even if their field spells up. Really cool. 1 of the Terror Incarnate. I don't feel like you need to play the 3rd form of Yubel because it's not that good, just in general. And you kind of have to play this in this deck, especially with the new card, the new field spell. 3 Grave Squirmer. This is correct, 3, because it's an extender, and there's a lot of times it can start your plays. There's ways to discard. Say you discard something off of Droplet, Super Poly, Eternal. I mean, it's just, this is in your graveyard. You feel so good. If it's on your field, it can pop something on summon. But yeah, okay, so I was unable to find a 3rd copy of this last night at locals. I thought my shop had one. But anyway, so I'm just playing basically 3 copies of it. But, you know, the terraforming plays in a draw pretty bad. But anyway, you definitely want to play 3 and then 1 terraforming to max out on engine. Okay, Nightmare Pain. So this card, you know, you would think you'd want to play 3 because it is very good. It is very, very good. But it's heavily searchable. So there's just, it's one of them things like, I don't know if I'd keep it at 3 for now. I think I will until the new support comes out, but I probably will cut it down to 2 after that. You do want to see this card because it's not a 1-card combo, but you only play dark monsters in this deck other than Shavara and like your hand traps and stuff. So there's a lot of times where it can be a starter. You know what I'm saying? It's just one of them weird cards. And it's also kind of the gimmick of the deck, the gimmicky side of the deck. But and that side of the deck does win games. So don't get me wrong there. But this deck does so much more than just, oh, you got to attack me, so you lose. No, it's not that. It's evolved more into a combo heavy deck. And I'll show you some of that later. Okay, so let me show you this. This is the Dark Beckoning Beast engine. 2 Dark Beckoning Beasts, 1 Spirit Gaze. And I was just trying this ratio. Why am I putting it up there? I'm just trying this ratio out. I think I'm going to go to 3 and 2 because this is just super good. This card is basically a Monster Reborn. It can get back your continuous spells. I mean, it's just so good. And then this gives you an additional normal, instant access to your Unchained engine. It gives you something to do. I don't play the Degen Buster, but I probably will start. But the extra deck's, it's kind of flexible, but there's so many different ways to build the extra deck in here. And I would kind of hate not to have some of that stuff that I have. For our Unchained package, anybody that doesn't play the Unchained package, I feel like it's wrong because it's only 2 cards. I mean, and this is never really a brick. It's always a body at least, worst case. And then usually you can get access to the trap. So especially when the new stuff comes out, it's crazy. But this should be abominable. Just, I don't think Escape is the best way to go, but it's kind of your preference and depending on how you want to play it. So now let's get into the hand traps. So I'm only main decking 1 hand trap, and that's Ash Blossom. And technically, if you count, I mean, this is also a hand trap, but I'm playing 3 Imperm. Just generically good cards that cover pretty much every matchup. There's very few matchups where neither one of these are good. Now, the rest of the non-engine. 3 droplet. This card was so good. You want to talk about getting stuff in the grave, because we don't care if our Yubels go to the grave. I mean, we can just get them back, you know. If it's already in your hand, it's just basically a free discard. 3 Super Poly. This card's okay. It's not great, but it's not bad either. It did come up, let me put it that way. But in the future, I might would side it. 2 Pot of Prosperity, because I couldn't find the other Nightmare Throne. I probably wouldn't even play Pot. And this card kind of sucks sometimes, to be honest with you. As far as like OTKing and stuff. So, because this deck, it can OTK. So Pot's really not that good. Then we're going to be playing 1 Called By. I don't know if I ever called by anything. 1 for 1. 1 for 1, it just, you know, it's a great one of. If I was playing more hand traps, it'd be even better. And then 1 Eternal Favorite. You kind of have to play the trap because it's just basically a searchable Super Poly, and it can help you get a Yubel on board. But yeah, I'm considering siding the Super Poly. Plus, it opens up your extra deck. And then once I get the other Nightmare Throne, getting rid of this, and then so I'll basically be playing around 12 hand traps in the deck probably, or at least 9, you know, just to make it better. And then probably side Super Poly because there are matches where it's good, but may drop it all together. I don't know. A lot of lists that are successful aren't really playing Super Poly right now, but you know that does not mean that it's just a dead card. But we do have a fusion monster that can fuse the whole board away, and that feels really good sometimes. So, but it's a lot of setup required. Okay, for our extra deck, I'm going to start off just with this right here, the Trains. This is an OTK. If people for some reason leave their board empty, actually, one player at locals last night, he wasn't expecting this, and I can see why, because it's not something you'd expect, but he SP'd away his board to preserve it and give me nothing to attack into, basically. So I was like, okay. And I actually forgot about this. I looked at my extra deck. I was like, wait a second. I have this. I'm like, if he has Mourner or Imperm, I'm done. I go burn for 2k. Effect. 6k. Enter battle. Game. It was really actually cool. That was the game that I had a draw in. For our Super Poly targets, we're going to be playing 1 Eternal Favorite, or Loving Defender Forever, 1 Garura, and 1, well, that's it actually. That's all. So yeah, that would give you 3 slots if you cut Super Poly. But man, that card is so good sometimes. I would maybe just cut these 2 and just play the Eternal Favorite, because, and just use that as your Super Poly. And that'll make a little more sense. But again, it's just preference. I just think it's cool to do it sometimes. Alright, now for our actual juice, our actual gas. Let me go ahead and get these out of the way. The boring stuff. Typhon, because everybody plays it. It just makes you, I heard another YouTuber say that it makes you lose slower. Really good explanation. Varudras, the new Baron that was custom for Yubel. The only thing that'd be better is if it was a Fiend. But yeah, this card's just crazy. Now for our links. So we're going to start off with our Unchained engine. Soul of Rage. It's insane. Yama. It's insane. Anguish. It's insane. Unchained Abomination. Another one is insane. Good for OTKing. Good, just get, you know, good for this. It's just great. The Unchained engine's kind of crazy. So now for the other stuff that's not Unchained, I would cut the Abominable Unchained. Which one is it? Yeah, the Unchained Abomination. Probably for Access Code Talker. I've seen a cool line with that. 1 Appaloosa. I never made it, just because it never really felt good. I don't know. It just never felt that good, so I didn't make it. SP, definitely a great card. I would say it probably won me a game. Nightmare Griffin, I'd say that won me a game. Probably the same game. And then Muckracker, a lot of times that's how you set up this. there's a couple ways to do it. You kind of have to commit to going for this to do it properly. So basically you would have this set up right here. So they couldn't co-link, because if you just summon it up here, they can at least co-link something and get something going. But if you do this setup right here, and then in the end phase, you have your Yubel on board or whatever, get rid of this. Now they literally can't co-link. They can't co-link any of their monsters. Or you can just leave this, and they still can't co-link, and they like really can't like at all, because this zone's taken up. Or you could just go your Soul of Rage, put something there. Anyway, it's just so many different things you could do. But yeah, that's just a great addition. And then the Muckracker is just, you're playing a Fiend deck, so you kind of have to play this, because there are certain times where this comes up. Anyways, guys, that's the deck. It's really fun, really powerful. I was actually thoroughly impressed. My matchups were Tenpai, Snake Eyes, and Branded. So the way the deck performed against all those decks was just really good. And like I said, I don't even really know how to play the deck at its full capability yet. I've only played it probably, I don't know, I can probably count on two hands how many times I've played it total between online. I mean, of course, online don't really count as much, but like in real life, that was maybe the second time playing it. So yeah, the deck, it rewards good players and punishes, I don't want to say bad players, but it punishes, if you do something wrong, it punishes you. If you do something right, it rewards you. It's just one of those decks. But anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.